I've also got this recording, so I'll have this uploaded right after. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna go over the weekly market outlook for a couple different markets across the board. I'll just give you guys an idea of what we're looking for the week. Obviously, we'll go over the positions we just took. But anyways, yeah. So let's just start with let's start with the DXY very briefly. Get an idea of what the dollar is doing this week. And let me go full screen as well.
Hey, they're on a webinar right now.
We call it the imagination area.
And then yeah, you guys just if you guys don't mind, just keep your mics muted. And if you want to say something, just go ahead and unmute it. It's completely no problem. You can ask questions or whatever. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. We're gonna look over the DXY really quickly. For those of you guys that are new, this is the U.S. dollar currency index. We're just gonna look at this on the higher time frames, just to get an idea of what the market's doing, looking at where we're going. But yeah, let's see. So monthly chart, it's very important to understand what's been going on over the past like pretty long time, I guess you could say. And you can see whenever we drop a line here based off of clear what looks to be old resistance, this talking about it up here, we can see that the market went into phases like we talk about in the that I'll be talking about in the course. I have a new lesson dropping for you guys, but this is perfect market phases here on a monthly. You see consolidation period, then it tries to make a new high and completely fails, and then obviously the market after that just established this whole range across the board, right? Essentially. So looking at it from the monthly, we can see price pushed back up into this area, creating what looks to be a inverse head and shoulders, if you ask me, a giant one rather to say. And then on top of that, just understanding this candle here as a whole is very important because we can see lots of price rejection from that area. So that's really funny to see there on the monthly. And if we go down lower, actually before we do that, we just want to get an idea of where this market's going. As we can see, it's currently diving off as expected. First things first, we can check trend very briefly here. And let's see if we just pull from the very tip and at closures. In my opinion, price has a pretty good ways to go there. If that's the case, and if you were to be more particular about it, if you pulled from the wicks, just to give yourself an idea, you can see the price is facing that there. But again, understanding what price was doing here is much more important. And to me, I would completely ignore this. And again, go with the more overall structural trend, which is going to be this. Okay. So that's what I would do there with the trend in regards to where it's heading on the monthly, just giving you guys a bigger picture. But anyways, let's go down to the weekly and let's identify the support. But I mean, maybe we can do it here. And yeah, definitely you can see price has tons of rejections all in this area. But again, let's go to the weekly. We'll be able to see this a little bit better, a little bit closer. And yeah, definitely a lot more defined. So which is the level I had on here earlier, about the same thing. The reason I marked this here is because we can see obviously price rockets up here whenever it's in an upward motion and then gives its first pullback. So that's a major area, and we can see that price respects this multiple times. And all these wicks go below it, but notice none of them close below it. They close back above. So again, respecting that area. And we can see that just we're coming into that area now. So I think we're going to continue to see this is a weekly chart. So this is still quite a bit of ways to go here. And I think we're going to see this little gap end up filling between where price is at now and where price is headed for the dollar anyway. So what that would mean for a lot of pairs is stuff like Euro USD. You would see naturally, more than likely, naturally going up here. Which you can see is happening here on the weekly as the DXY is falling. Also other dollar-based pairs such as GBP USD, like we've already called, and all the other ones as well. For the most part, you also have to make sure you understand what you're trading in regards to the opposite currency. So like GBP is its own thing. You have to understand that, and it's just tug-of-warring. But if we can see that we can break it down by checking the technicals. But regardless, let's look at GBP/USD, understanding that the dollar probably has a lot more downside and down for it. Let's see if we can break this down. So if I go out, I'm on a weekly here, and I've already structurally drawn this out. Trend, obviously, okay. We can see that price. This is interesting to me. This right here is interesting to me. Because first off, we go into a consolidation period all of this right here. Okay, that's all consolidation period. That's weeks of consolidation. But within this, I find it funny that obviously you have this high here, that which was respected. You can see the next candle closed back below that. So that's interesting. And then on top of that, this trend line being here, you can see price very well respected to this in the past. And this time it faked everybody out, consolidated, and then impulse back down. And on this impulse is what's interesting is whenever we actually draw from the support level, which is going to be this whole thing right here. Whoops, wrong tool, my bad. It's this one right there. We can see that price, yes, it wicked way below, but it closed back up above. So that's how you know that this is supportive and this is actually buyers regaining control. And again, understanding market phases, just knowing that this is a consolidation period, period, and then you have the impulsive wave. That's what happens here. And then we have the correction, the profit wave phase, which is what we're looking to take advantage of right now. And obviously, if we were to do that, looking here on the weekly, if we were to zoom in a little bit more here, we can see a couple things. Price as a whole, here on the weekly, was respecting 25.7, obviously, and we can see that we broke above it, closed a little candle above that area finally, and then the very next week, which was last week, closing nice and strong above it. So we know that this is a supportive level, and it's just going to continue to go on to the next major area there. And that's just like a swing, more of a swing view, right? But if we were to go into the lower technicals, we can see that price is just continuing to maintain strength. You can see it has even here whenever it comes into a bullish flag pattern and breaks the upside after a continual trend, like it's just going to keep going. So that's why we gave the buy here earlier after this, was because we understood what was happening after the major break of this resistance area as a whole. But so that's a very simple breakdown of the GUs. Does anyone have any questions on the projections or anything like that before I move to another pair? Let me go to hold on. Let me go to a daily on this real quick. Also, just to explain, the daily, talking about this trend line too, keeping this in mind, seeing how price came up into this area, we respected it, yes, but for the next 2 days, closing bullish, and then the third day closing with a nice bullish candle as well. So again, this is just showing that more bullish pressure is still there and that buyers are absolutely in control. So I would say at bare minimum, like absolutely bare minimum, you're going to see this market come up into this area right here, which is going to be 1.31200, 1.315, which is still a solid another 290 pips to go, roughly. I don't know if we'll see that happen this week necessarily, but overall, we are going to see that happen. But I would probably expect it to happen this week, especially with everything that's just happening fundamentally and et cetera. But yeah, so that's that for GU. Let's go ahead and let's look at gold for a minute. I mean, this is pretty much absurd at this point. Gold has officially broken records, I believe. Yeah, it's doing it right now. Like straight up right now. Hold on. So this is the old high, and that's 1921.07. That's the absolute old high, 1921.07. And gold currently 19, where are we at? 1921. Oh, it's above. It's absolutely above. It broke a record just now. It's crazy. Hold on. Yeah, gold's just on a run. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really see any reason for it to slow down at this point. Gold is gold. It's always like, why would it go backwards, right? Of course, it could have a pullback or whatever, but in my opinion, just seeing where gold's at right now, there's almost no way to trade this other than just continuing to buy. And in doing so, you'd probably be best off just paying attention to the 15-minute chart. So I'll be watching gold just to see if there's obvious signs of either reversal or continuation. But as it sits right now, I mean, I just think gold's probably just going to keep going up and up for a little bit longer. So I don't know. I probably won't be on it too much this week, although I like to trade gold a lot. But anyways, Let's see, AUD/USD. Let's go see. Let's do a cross pair. Let's go look at something like GJ. Let's look at GA. Let's actually mix it up entirely. All right, so this is, yeah, okay, this is simple. This was actually left over from this brief technical that I have here, left over from a video that I had made for you guys that I'll have uploaded, but this is going to play out perfect. So if I were to go to the weekly, you can see this alone. So watch this. Obviously, this was an uptrending market here for a good amount of time. I believe it still is. If you were to just pull it structurally, you're going to see that this is going to run out here. But even here, you can see trend just smacked through it and then retested and everything. But anyways, looking here at the weekly, if you were to pay attention to just the major old lows, essentially, which is going to be here, all right? And I pulled that to there strictly just because of the way of the candles closed at this area, not because of the wick. You'll hear I've heard a lot of people say that you have to absolutely focus on the wicks, and like you have to focus on the wicks and the closures. You have to understand both to be able to pull an accurate level. Otherwise, you're just going to mix yourself up. But if I'm looking at this right here and I drop down into the daily, I'm expecting this to bounce, at least for the short time being. The reason that is because we have a clear consolidation period here. Okay, and this is again understanding phases, that this market was in a downtrend. GBP/AUD was in a downtrend for a good amount of time. The price halted and actually tried to throw new lows. And whenever it threw new lows, after the consolidation period on the impulsive period, which is here, it actually gave us a buy signal here on the daily as well, right there. Okay, and it actually tapped our level perfectly. So here's the expansion point down into 77.2, and then it's going to go into a corrective profit wave phase here soon. And I think we're going to see GBP/AUD climb back up into at least this area here, okay? And if I was to go out to a weekly, you'd be able to see that level probably a little cleaner, for sure. You can see how price closes all in here before breaking out, and also you can see once it breaks here back again, you can see how it sustains below. So we know that's accurate. So and also here looking at the weekly, just a dumb bullish candle there too. So I think, yeah, first stop here for GBP/AUD, we're going to see it back up into 1.82, and then further up into 1.83. And if we were to go to the daily time frame, you'd be able to probably see that a little better. Maybe the 4 hour. Let's go a little lower. We've been on high time frames forever today. But it's the weekly market outlook. What more do you want? No, I'm playing. Let's see. Yeah, 1.82, which is going to be straight to here, right in there. And then even further, if it can break that, it'll, like I said, 1.833. So I would keep GBP/AUD on your radar as well. Probably most of these pound pairs are going to be going up anyways. GBP/NZD sustaining, yeah. I mean, probably a lot of these are going to be going up. Let's see what UJ is doing with the dollar just losing its mind. Everything happening in China, just all sorts of stuff. I mean, yeah, this thing's gonna go 105. It's gonna go to 105 for sure. It's just free falling in between this next major daily area, which is gonna be right. See these closes right there, and then the closes over here. That's gonna be what I'd be looking at here. And yeah, that's gonna give us, yeah, 105.2 almost. So that's kind of the next area I'd be expecting UJ to go, just in its free falling motion with the dollar right now. And I mean, I don't expect this market to pull back, to be honest, but if it did, if it pulled back up into like 106.5, I'd be looking for some solid sells. But that'd be like another 90 pips the upside. I highly doubt it's going to do that. Everything's just ripping right now. Anyone have any like specific pairs they want me to check out before we wrap up or anything like that? I only cover a couple pairs because like really we only trade a couple pairs. Like between me and Ryan, it's this, the peso, gold. Yeah, this is just going to fall through. German 30. German 30. I actually never trade this. Never. Sheesh. I'm actually not even, I would love to help you with that, but yeah, I'm not going to go through it. Only because I personally, I've never even placed a trade on this before, on this specific option, I guess you could say. But let's see, US 30, probably very similar. Yeah, it's definitely looking like it's maintaining itself. Yeah, it's still got to go up a little bit more. I think it does. It needs to test this high again at least. Yeah, no, it needs to. So this is the old high, obviously. Right. Pop. And the market, if it's going to turn around, if you're looking at this on a daily, just structurally, and again, understanding very simple consolidation periods and stuff like that, right? Market phases, right? We can see that the market is in a consolidation phase here. And on top of that, the market doesn't actually reverse. It shouldn't typically reverse until an impulsive move is made. And this right here isn't necessarily an impulsive move. This is just a straight up profit waving phase. All right. So then here's a pullback. Here's your consolidation phase. This market needs to go up and at least test this again. But to be honest with you, if it reverses, it's probably going to come up into here to major areas like 28, 28.2, really push the limits, and then absolutely suck back down, close back below this area, and then probably go back down lower. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to predict any market crashes because I kind of think that's crazy to do, but I do think the market's going to fall. It's just about when and where. And currently speaking, with the structure, the phases, all that stuff, the technicals that we can see, that the market is, there's your consolidation phase. Now it needs to push up into this, expand, and then drop. So if that's a thing, if that's the case, which, let's see. Yeah, here's your old high, essentially, old major level. So yeah, I'd wait till further 28, 28.5 up in there before even thinking about this thing falling. So let's see, what have we covered? Yo, I just admitted 2 people. My bad, guys. Probably left y'all in there. I was focused and forgot I had to actually manually admit y'all. But regardless, I have this recording, so I'll get y'all back. But so we've gone over US 30, gone over GA, GBP USD. Let's actually go back to peso really quick. Peso. We're going to, what are we on? Daily. All right. So here we go. Weekly. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go back out here. That is at 20. It's around 20. Price pops, respects this whole area. This is from here to here. That's a whole zone. Okay, so this is the major point. That's going to be 21.88. And obviously, okay, well, hold on, wrong tool. Okay, so we got the next weekly level, or I'm sorry, yeah, weekly level essentially established. So we're at 22.25. This is roughly a 300 pip gap. But let's zone it in. Yeah, we're just coming into simple support, but even this all here looks fine and dandy. Obviously, you can see very clear trend line going down here. On top of that, just understanding the closures at that level, wrong tool again, this level as a whole, all right, and also seeing the formation here. This is great. These are all things we look for. And again, understanding the market phases, which we can see here. What do we have? Consolidation period. We impulse the upside. Price fails. So what's going to happen next? It's going to go down and make a new low and continue doing its thing as it's doing. So let me bust this out. Which structurally speaking, obviously we're coming into support. I'm just curious what this would look like across the board, because obviously this is the trending channel that's happening. So yeah, I mean, once this falls through here, as long as price, which here on a 4 hour, we can see it a lot cleaner right there. Geez, wrong tool again. Right there. Okay. So we can see that as long as we can break this and then we get through this cleanly, I think by all means, we're going to have this thing shoot down to the downside, which is going to make sense if the dollar is weakening. So, and USDMXN, this thing likes to move once it starts moving. But yeah, I think this is going to be a great setup for this week, something we're going to be on top of. It looks continual. I mean, this market by no means should go back above. Jesus, wrong tool. Yeah, by no means should go back above 29.2. No way. But a slight pullback wouldn't surprise me either, but I wouldn't expect to see that go any higher than even there. Jesus Christ. There we go. Just to keep it short and sweet. But yeah, that's about it. Peso about to probably roll off a cliff. I'm personally in that trade. Me and Ryan are both in GBP USD and USDMXN. For both GBP USD we're long and USDMXN short. We actually took this a little later than we wanted to, but it's all good because it's going to keep flowing. Shoot. But yeah, I got this whole session recorded. Does anyone have any questions before we do? It's about a solid.
Yeah, what do y'all think about fucking GJ cell?
The GJ cell? All right, GJ cell. Yeah, I think GJ is strong personally. I'll explain. I'll show you real quick. Just out here on a weekly, first things first. Okay, very clear, right? We've been downtrending. This is just like very similar to the GU situation we're looking at. We were downtrending,
Right.
we're downtrending. We come up into this to try to make new highs, where price actually again fakes everyone out in this situation, right? There's the fake out. There's the consolidation period. The impulse back down to support. This is great, perfect rejection. And price is just steady getting stronger here and just coming up into this resistance. And that's why it's having a hard time right here. But if we go down into the daily, daily starts revealing it a little bit more to us, because obviously price is just sustaining trend here, just all the way through and through, right? Just this way in general. On top of that, you can see all of this right here. See how this price continues to try to break up down and can't? It supports it.
Right.
And it finally breaks up and through. But so now we're faced with the resistance right now. Everyone's looking at resistance right now, right? Am I wrong? Boom, there it is. But with this resistance, again, it's very, very, very important to understand where you're pulling your levels from. And if we're looking here at a daily, it's as simple as this. You pull from the closures. When you pull from the closures, you can see it's no longer like foggy. Whereas if you're pulling up here, you'd be like, man, I feel like it's like, I don't know. Like, you know.
Right.
But here you can see very clear. Price tries and tries and tries. And finally, we close up above. We close with bullish signs. And then the next day, we try to break back down below. But no way. Close with bullish signs again. Right? So price is showing us that buyers are still in control, period. At least through all these numbers of days and following trend. So when we go lower now, we can really break into it. And yes, like I could understand you might see a minor head and shoulders here, stuff like that. But this is like, you have to understand, in this lower of a time frame, even a 4 hours is considered a lower time frame. Like, it's just noise, right? And whenever we look at the price right here, if I blow this up, all right, let me actually get rid of this just for a sec and just keep it simple. So obviously, price was having a hard time right here all dang day, right? Finally break up and through, test, go up, fail, but we're only failing because of the everything else that we see happening across the board, such as this, right? So this is just a simple pullback move with the overall strength of this pair, in my opinion. And the reason why is because even here, whenever you look at this, like if you were to pull from the tip of that wick or even the close of that wick, at no point does this market essentially break below and close heavy below this. It just continually rejects again. So I think from here, you're just going to see GJ go back on up, might stall out, I don't know. But at some point, it's going to rocket shit up, I think, up into 138, 130, at least this level. Bam, there you go.
Good shit, man. I appreciate the info.
Yeah. But really, like, I'm getting like 3 new videos out for you guys this week. It's like market phases and structural and stuff. It's going to help you guys a ton. So it'll be pumped. I'll be pumped when I get that out. But I'll probably have it out by like tomorrow or the next day at the latest. But shoot. Any other questions? Are we good? Everyone clear? Yeah, these things are just moving. I know, dude. Look at peso falling through right now. There it goes. See ya.
Oh my God, Jessica's mom boobs too.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and hop off. If I'm gonna get this uploaded right now, so I'll probably have this up in the next like 30 minutes, honestly. But yeah, appreciate you guys hopping on. We're gonna do a lot more of these more often. We'll get a schedule out to y'all too, that way y'all know what times we're doing these. And then I appreciate y'all's time. Sorry about the 5-minute delay. We'll get it on the next one. I'll see y'all later. Peace.